Hi everyone, I'm Carlo Bova from Downtown Music here in Sydney, Australia, and welcome to the Downtown Lounge. Today I am actually very privileged to interview a gentleman that's been coming into the store from a very, very young age. And how great is it for me as a music store owner to watch someone grow up from a very young age to now being one of Australia's premier guitar players, working with everybody all over Australia, and has also done some great gigs overseas. Let me introduce to you today, Chris Kamzelas. Thank you very much for coming down, mate.
No problem.
Starting out to play guitar, when did that all happen?
When I was 12.
12.
Music was always around, you know, I've got an older brother who used to bring all the vinyl back, you know, go out and buy vinyl and introduce me to all the classic bands that are classic today.
Older brother?
Older brother, yeah.
Okay, and did he end up playing anything?
No, he had my first guitar was a sort of hand-me-down from him, an acoustic.
Okay, fantastic.
And he wanted to be a bass player, but it didn't happen.
I do remember this young guy by the name of Gus that used to come in, and you guys would spend hours in the store trying every guitar after school.
Yeah, checking out all the gear.
Fantastic, mate.
Yeah.
And then was there a particular time in your life, did you see someone playing guitar and other than your brother?
No, the first thing was, so music was all around, you know, we were right into like listening to AC/DC, The Police. It was like I was in second class and all the kids that I went to school with they weren't into music, they were playing in sandpits. I was graffitiing AC/DC on my pencil case, and, you know, I was into all that sort of thing, you know, because of the older brother. What I originally wanted to do was play drums.
Okay.
So I was into the air drumming, it was all cool, and from there I went out looking for a drum kit with my dad.
Okay.
And I think he really thought about what he was about to go through. So it didn't happen. He made a deal with me. How about you play guitar, and, you know, we'll get you a guitar, and you know, if you go further with it, I'll buy you a better guitar, you know, down the track. And I was like, deal.
Okay, so from then, who was your first teacher? Did you have a teacher?
I did have a local teacher. Close to my parents. No, he was just, he played in Greek bands.
Oh, great, okay.
And he was pretty good. He was into the stuff I was into, like he was into Richard Blackmore, Deep Purple.
Wow.
And what would happen was we'd talk about all that stuff, but he would say, look, I'm not going to show you the riffs because you've got to learn all this other boring stuff and I was hopeless. I wasn't into study, I wasn't into, you know, so I'd go home and I'd mess around for 5 minutes with the Mel Bay book and go, oh God, you know, and then I'd put on Black Sabbath and I'd be like, I want to play that riff. So I'd be forced to start listening and working out riffs because he wasn't going to show it to me. Like, he wanted me to learn the theory, which was all cool, but it was a good thing because I started developing my ears. Yeah.
Now, so if we've got a new song that we want to learn now, there's someone within 5 minutes of a new song coming out.
Yeah.
You get on YouTube and you can actually watch someone else playing and teaching you how to play it.
Yeah, but that's awesome. But how good is it for when it comes time, if you're going to take it further, you need to play for an artist, and they say, here's a CD, now turn up to rehearsal.
That's exactly
you know?
right.
You don't get sheet music.
And learning all these different songs developed your ear, made you a great player. You've learnt licks from Richie Blackmore, whoever you've learnt your licks from, which at the end of you combine them all together to make Chris Kamzelas the player that he is.
Yeah.
But I still believe that if you're an up-and-coming guitarist, you hit it right on the head. You're going to get a CD from someone to go and learn these songs, and you're only going to have a limited time.
Yeah.
You probably would have had the same thing while you were doing Idol, playing.
Yeah, they had the music for that.
They had the music for that?
Yeah, but that was stressful for me too, because I'm not really a schooled. Like the side of music that I got into was the theory side, not the dots. Like it was more the scales and the chord formulas and all that. So something like Idol for me, it's all dots. You know, it had the chord charts, but I'd really have to listen to the music before, and we had one day, you go in, you rehearse. Guys are, like, you start rehearsals from the morning, and you got to be playing that song first go, you know, and it could be in another key, you know, which isn't a guitar key, and it's a guitar song, you know, a guitar riff song. And, you know, I'm there with Rex and, you know, going, oh man, just quickly, you know, what about this part? What should we do? You know, but I think that gig, the Idol gig, was probably the hardest for the guitar players, because Rex and I had to turn up with all the sounds. We'd have to have a listen to tunes, and have a bunch of guitars, pedals, and we'd work together
to try and pull off those sounds,
yeah,
to reproduce.
You know,
them.
it was because
Okay.
guitars is like, you know, there's so many different character sounds, and you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Was there a keyboard player in that band?
Yeah, there was two.
Just two. Okay, cool.
There was one Nightmare, but it was just an accident. It wasn't because we couldn't play it, you know, or, you know, it was. Basically, it's a full day of rehearsing. There's so much rehearsing that, you know, by midday, I was like, no problem, everything's locked in, it's fine.
Okay.
But I would be a little bit stressed. I'd always pull it off, but I'd just have that thing in me, you know. I'm a bit stressed because I'm not like the other guys, you know.
Well, most of the other guys are probably readers.
But there was a funny moment. Okay. We were doing, we're rehearsing the show before it goes live to air. So it was the last rehearsal, full dress rehearsal, and I started this tune. I can't remember what the tune was, but I capoed so I could get all those open chords going. I capoed at the first fret, but what I didn't do was this was a massive lesson. I didn't write it on the chart. Capo first fret, right?
So what happened when you...
So
oh,
it comes time, I start playing, she starts singing, and then the band kicks in, everything's a semitone out. It just all went to crap. And then it was like, you know, no, it wasn't live, thank God. But the whole feeling of there's this whole production, cameras, everything going on, hosts, and you screwed it. I screwed it, you know. So things like that, there's another lesson to learn too. You make a mistake, right? You better not let it get to you for the rest of the day. Let it go. It's happened. It's gone. You know? So, or else you'll be mistake after mistake.
Stars are shining in your eyes. I begin to realize that I've passed through times unbroken. Do you know what it's like when a mirror never lies and the truth?
But prior to Idol, I know that in your career you've had a couple of great musicians that you've been able to work with. One being Tina Arena, Richard Clapton.
Yeah.
How cool are both of those? Maybe, was Tina Arena before Richard Clapton?
No, she was after
Okay, well, let's
Clapton,
go.
but-
Let's talk Richard first. How long were you with Richard for?
I played for him for about 5 years, and that was a big part of, you know, my development, I reckon, as a pro player. Playing with him, his music's guitar music, it's awesome, great songwriting, and he's very open to letting his players play. You know,
Fantastic.
he uses his players, the strengths. I think, you know, that's how he works, you know. But that was, and also I got to meet a lot of guys through him and play with them. Guys that I listened to growing up, the In Excess guys, Diesel, you know, Mossy. We did 3 gigs together with Mossy. So me and Mossy playing next to each other, and I'm like, I've got a photo at my parents' place, and it looks like it's been photoshopped, like I've put myself into it.
Okay.
Of Mossy like sitting back, and I'm next to him going,
Awesome, man.
just freaking out, you know.
And what a beautiful player he is.
Yeah, he's my favourite Australian guitar player. Yeah.
So, 5 years with Richard. Were there any albums or any big major recording or?
There was a few recordings,
done
but
during
they're
that
all
time?
live recordings. There was up
One
and
at the
down.
basement or something?
There was one at the basement,
Okay.
and there was another big concert which was released on DVD called Up and Down the Glory Road.
Up and down the
Glory Road.
Glory Road. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And it certainly
And-
is a glory road, isn't it?
What's that?
I said it certainly is a
Yeah.
glory road.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was on that DVD. I got to play with the In Excess guys and Diesel, you know, jamming with him. That was pretty cool.
Out of all of Richard's songs that you played, is there a particular one? I mean, there's a couple of songs that I really like that Richard does.
Yeah.
But is there a particular one that you enjoyed playing every night in his
I
repertoire?
love playing Deep Water.
There you go.
Deep Water's a killer.
Great song.
And Get Back to the Shelter. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's a
song.
killer. Yeah.
We used to go down to the beach at night. Fireflies dancing on promenade light. All the rock and roll bands used to really swing. I'd do a foxtrot with sweet Christine, speaking to me with a gentle hand. I fly on down to Wonderland. Deep water, I'm cold, these boys. It's falling over my head. I feel less than no fool. And deep water, and deep water.
Oh yeah. And then so after Richard Clapton,
Yep.
I was.
Hold on, just before you go off Richard Clapton,
Yeah.
because the viewers are watching this, is there a particular, you did mention a few minutes ago, live performance that you did that you think you played really well, that if the viewers out there want to see you play, is there a particular video they can go get, or what was it called? That you,
That DVD's the up and Down the Glory Road. There's some things that I'm a bit like, you know, cringe about, you know, but that's years ago, but there is some really special moments too.
That's
you
all I
know.
wanna hear,
The
mate.
stuff playing with Mark Lizotte
yep.
and the In Excess guys, I think that was a highlight. That was really
Fantastic.
good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Tina Arena.
Mm.
Wow, what a voice.
Yeah, she's a killer.
What a voice. And I remember, I better not say how long I've been watching her for, because you'll be able to tell how old I am too. But
Well,
back to the days of Johnny Young and the Young Talent scene.
Yeah.
Mate.
Well, I was a fan of hers, you know.
Yep.
I was always a fan from the Don't Ask album. That was actually her second album. She had a real pop album before that.
What was there's one album, Sweet Sorrento, that's got Sweet
Yeah,
Sorrento Moon.
that's
Is
that
that the first?
album,
Is that
yeah.
the first album?
Don't Ask. Yeah.
Don't Ask.
But I was
That
a
is
fan
what's-
from that time onwards. So, and all like players that I loved played in her band. You know, Jack Jones and
Oh yes.
Virgil Donati through the years. Anyway, so what happened there was an audition came up
Okay.
for her band, and the reason there was auditions was her MD had come out. He was a new MD. He'd come out from England, so he didn't know anyone here. So I went down to the audition, and it was funny the way I worked it a bit, because through the week leading up to it, I had that, you know, I'm going to do everything Tina Arena. I want to make this happen, you know, that energy thing, you know.
Yep.
Anyway, but I thought to myself, okay, there's the auditions for the guitar players. I'm going to go in first. I want to go in first. And, you know, for me, it was like going in first, I thought, he's the first guy he's going to see, and if I do the right job, he'll be cool. Like he'll want his job done, and you know,
That's it.
I've got the player. That's cool, and that's exactly what happened.
You walk in, you did
I
the
walked
job.
in, I played, and he pulled me aside. He goes, "Man, cool. You know, we've got a few other guys to go through, but you're the guy. Done. You know, it was that easy.
Fantastic.
You know."
Fantastic, mate.
But I also felt like I know her songs. I don't even have to. I'm a fan. Like, don't have to think about it. You know.
Great, great.
So-
and how many other guitarists went to that audition?
I think there was like another 3. You know.
Okay. And
Yeah.
did you get the call the next day, that afternoon? What happened there?
Yeah, it was pretty quick. You know,
Pretty
it all
quick?
happened quick. Yeah.
And so from then on, you went into rehearsal stage and you started touring
Rehearsals, and then all these gigs were happening.
here in Australia, overseas?
No, overseas gigs. You know, we went to
Wow.
China, played in China.
How many people in China?
Well, it was like a mini entertainment centre, but it was really weird because before we entered the building, the army came in and went through the building and checked it for, I don't know, bombs or whatever.
Wow, okay.
And when we did our performance, it was televised. And if you can imagine, like the entertainment centre, you know how it's got the floor and then it's the seating around?
Yep.
People were only allowed on that seating. The floor was empty, no one allowed. The people weren't allowed near the stage. And it was televised, and I read somewhere they reckon it was televised to 2 billion people, you know,
2 billion
Yeah.
people. Okay.
which is a freaky thing, you know. But
Is that like a traditional thing in China? It
was for the Olympics.
They don't let the people out on the dance floor. No, I don't think so.
There were some weird things that were said, yeah, like, you know.
All right,
it's-
we won't go into that.
Yeah.
What's another overseas gig that you did?
We went to
you-
Monte Carlo,
Did Paris as well?
Paris. We recorded a live album in Paris at the Olympia,
Okay.
which was awesome. And that was all these recordings that that came up over the years. There was you never had time. The cool thing is listening back to them now and thinking, oh shit, we pulled that off. But there was never like a whole rehearsal stage. You know, it was like, you know,
What
it was
happens,
like
what
we're gonna
happens?
play tomorrow. Let's get together and rehearse. You know, it was really quick put together. And then, like listening to that Olympia album, there's some really cool stuff that I'm proud of on it. You know,
Fantastic. Fantastic.
yeah.
The world was on fire, no one could save me but you. Strange what desire would make.
Lately in the last, okay, so if we move to the last few years, things that have been happening in your life. I know that after Shannon Knoll did so well on Australian Idol,
Yep.
he put a band together. You were in the band with him.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
is
that
that
went on
still
for a
happening
while.
now? So,
No. Well,
that toured for a while.
yeah, I was with him for a while. Like I did his first tour, and then I went back to Idol. So I was doing the Idol thing, and then it's sort of after 5 years on Idol, I got offered the Shannon gig again.
Yep.
And I just thought I had to get out of there at that time because I think I was a bit stale. Like, you know, you play on Idol, it was an awesome experience, like learning, you know,
Yep.
and playing with those killer players. But I sort of,
And also playing with Rex Go would be
yeah,
fantastic.
and Rex Go's a legend, you know.
Yeah,
so
mate. Yeah.
I learnt a lot of him. But I just started getting a bit stale, like turning up and you play for a minute and a half and then you stop for ages, then you can't make noise, and I'm like, oh man, I need to play in a band, you know. So that Shannon gig came up and I did another couple of years with him.
Fantastic. So, well, that comes to what's happening now in your life.
Yeah, well now,
Okay.
now's the exciting time, I think.
Great. What are you doing?
I've started writing and recording my own songs, and over the years I've been singing, you know, here and there on different gigs, learning, you know, about my voice, and so now it's time. I'm writing the songs and singing them myself, you know.
Fantastic. Chris.
So that's where I'm heading at the moment.
Well, this is the
and
first
really-
I've heard of that. So you're actually
Yeah.
going to do the whole thing yourself. You're going to get out there, hopefully record an album, all your own songs, and
Yep.
even sing on the album.
Yep, everything, yeah.
Mate,
Sing it.
That's a
Go
credit to
hard.
you.
And
Can you sing?
can I sing? Well, that's up to everyone to listen to and, you know.
Chris, look, I've got to tell you, today's been absolutely fantastic. You're an absolute gentleman. Thank you very much for coming in. Here at Downtown, we do wish you all the best, mate.
Thanks a lot.
No matter what you do in your career. And like I said, you're one of the very early young kids that used to come in here, and we used to say, what a pain this guy is. But
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
you've turned out to be an absolutely unbelievable musician. And
Thanks.
we're proud of you, mate.
Thank you.
Look, we're just going to leave the guys. Hope you've all enjoyed this YouTube interview. I'm Carlo from Downtown Music. We're going to finish off this interview, and Chris might do a bit of playing. I'll see if I can twist his arm or something like that. Keep watching. And one thing I do want to tell you, we just heard that Chris is releasing a new album, and I want you guys to support this guy. He's absolutely unbelievable guitarist. Check him out on YouTube. Check out the interview. Whatever you want to do. But as soon as this guy releases his album, do support him. We'll see you out in the shops. Give him a call. Hey, you got Chris's album? That's what I want to hear you saying. I'll talk to you soon. I'm Carlo from Downtown. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.